tell you something, that champion match we had could really knock the wind out of you. And it is nuts! Welcome back to more of Pokemon FireRed and LeafGreen. Last time, we became the champions. The champion of Kanto. And we began the post-game, revealing to you guys that we have two special key items that are now accessible to us and whenever we can choose to, and now that we got into the post-game in the Switch remakes. But we're not going to worry about any of those yet. There is one thing that I want to check, though. Now that we've officially become champions here, I don't know if anything's different in here. I guess not. Oh, never mind. I'm thinking of... I think it was in Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald that I like that, but... Never mind. Never mind. We are gonna want to head to the One Island. Because we have been kind of tipped off on a couple of things and what to do around here. D-Rock, how have things been for you? Was I right? You caught more Pokemon. Do you know what? Maybe I can be useful to you. I'm modifying the network machine right now. I'm changing it so it can handle trades over long distances. When I get finished, you'll be trading for exotic Pokemon from traders far away. But there is a slight catch. For the link to work, the machine needs a special gemstone. It's supposed to be on One Island, but I haven't found one yet. Who knows where it could be? Alright. Alright. Carrot. So I think, now that we've finally gotten the chance to come back out here, I can put another repel. Yeah, I'm 20 levels higher than you, and I'm the champion. It's probably best then that you don't piss me off. Alright. Put up a repel. And carry on our way. Right. As I was saying, we want to head back up to Mount Ember. Because our objective for today is kind of taking a little look-see. Yes. Whew, punched through at last. Let's go treasure hunting. Any treasure we find, we haul back to the warehouses. Understood? Well, what's the password? The rocket warehouse, I mean? What, you forgot the password? There's actually two. The first one's Goldeen need log. The second one is... Hey! This dude's been listening in! Yeah, I've been listening in. What you gonna do about it? What you gonna do about it? What you gonna do? What? I just got a little discount on that one. Trying to horn in on our treasure? Don't bet on it. Oh, you're not a double battle? Come on! Well, I'll let you know on one thing. Peach here had really needs to get her home. Her claws going. She didn't see much action throughout the entirety of the Pokemon League, but this time, she's ready to rock and roll. Alright. And if I need to switch out, and if I get a little desperate, I will. Thanks. Oh, come on! You did that on purpose, game. Can I please get a critical hit on this? Thank you. Even though that it wasn't a critical hit, but I don't care. Wait, but how? Champion. Develop amnesia conveniently and forget everything you heard. Oh yes, I'll try to find a way to make some Damascus Rose while we're at it. Oh, you bitch! Ooh, false swipe. False swipe is a really good move. Peach is at level 51. Yeah. Giga Drain! I'm stumped. Because on the one hand, Leech Life has been serving me well lately. But then again, Giga Drain is more powerful. You know, actually, I feel like Leech Life has served its purpose. I'm hoping that things get better for me as it is. So you know what? Frig it. But since we're doing this, I might as well. Won't do much because I'm a offensive Pokemon user, not a special. Okay, never mind. At least it got my health back. Huh, what? Why'd you have to win? What a setback, we'll have to regroup. You, don't even think about taking a step inside here. If you know what's good for you, don't even think about this. Yeah, no. Yeah, I'm breaking quarantine. I hope we don't need to actually use Rock Smash. But we do need the strength though. So, here at Mount Ember, we now have access to some new Pokemon. And these guys are gonna come all the way from the Johto region. I would like to go over here these two Pokemon real quick. Those two Pokemon are Slugma and its evolution of Macargo. These things are very strange. I say strange here for a bit of an interesting reason. They're very slow, true to their appearance. In fact, there's one right there. But the fact that they have two very interesting abilities. One prevents it from freezing, which is kind of interesting, the fact that is a fire type. The other one is Flame Body. Flame Body actually has two special purposes. One, of course, is that it can potentially burn the opponent once it comes to physical contact with it. But if you also have an egg, now I don't know if the rules apply into Generation 3, but I know it's like that in future generations, but if you do happen to have an egg, it will cut the time for it to hatch in half. Upon its evolution of Macargo, which can also be found only here through breaking rocks here, and being a part rock type, actually makes it a good use for a Pokemon. It takes a lot of good physical hits of like getting rock types, and even though that it technically doesn't do well when it comes into dealing with offensive damages, that's not to say that it's useless. It's just awkward. Now the problem that I have with these Pokemon is that most of the time you're going to be finding them usually between the 10s and then the 30s. That is not to say that it's useless, it's just hard to raise. But if you manage to accomplish just that, and get it out into your team, this is actually a pretty good choice if you're looking for a defensive Pokemon. Just be note, it has a quad weak to water and a quad weakness to ground. Alright. So these right here. Visual Braille. And I think this is just a period, and I think this one is comma? I actually had kind of looked at it more into this earlier. Let's just see here. Yeah, it's just the alphabet. Okay. But like I said, I don't remember what that one is, though, but it is okay. I'm not gonna worry too much about it. This right here! We have obtained a ruby. Let's see here. And we read this. Here's what it says. Let me try to look at that correctly. Everything has meaning. Existence has meaning. Being alive has meaning. Have dreams. Use power. Kind of an interesting in a way of putting this. But yeah, I don't know for why they did this, but visual braille. Anyone who's gonna play in here, Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald can vouch for the fact that this gave them nightmares in the past. Right. In fact, I remember the first time from when I played Ruby, they included visual braille, and I was like, what the frick am I looking at? So, I'm so glad that I was able to give myself a guide that was needed for, of course, Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald, so I can see what it's actually saying. Just thank God they were merciful with that. Okay, so we didn't need Rock Smash for this. Smashing up them rocks was not exactly a requirement. But they do give you some powerful Pokemon that are hidden in there. Alright, so. Oh, that's... We give them the Ruby. Sure we couldn't just sell it off for something big. Thank you, D-Rock, you're simply amazing. May I ask you one more giant favor of you? While studying gemstones, I discovered something important. There's another gem that forms a pair with this ruby. The other gemstone is supposed to be in the Sevi Islands. D-Rock, please, I need you to go find the other gem. D-Rock, may I have your fairy pass in the town map? We now get the Rainbow Pass! And add an extra page to the town map. This is my very own fairy pass. It will let you get to all the Sevi Islands. D-Rock, please, I can't do it without your help. Have fun being stranded! Alright. So we now have access into going to 4 more islands. Completing the Sevi Islands. Because Sevi is another word of saying 7. Because there's 7 islands in total. Oh god, this douchebag. Hey, D-Rock! What are you doing here in the Sevi Islands? You quit copying me, you know? Anyway, I'm already got my Pokemon eggs, so I'm done with this island. Heh, I bet you don't even know about Pokemon eggs. You'll never fill your national Pokedex that way. By the way, I saw someone who we both know from this island. Why don't you go look around if you make you curious? Me? I don't have the time to waste. Be smelling ya. Freak. So, we find a pearl. On 4 Island. And of course we need a Rock Smash up here. But this right here. Introduction into the daycare center. Help take care of your precious Pokemon and trainers. If you'd like me to raise your Pokemon, have a word with my wife. I'm not going to worry too much about this, but there are some Pokemon that can only be found with the use of breeding. Ready? Boring. Or boing. I'm having a body slam match to see who wimps out first. Person can teach us body slam. A physically offensive normal time move, and that it can potentially cause paralysis. And of course, whenever you visit a new area, visit a new location, or you'll be a sitting duck if you don't. This is a very small island. You're not going to be seeing much from out here. Oh, a Pokemon egg? I have no idea. Oh wait, the daycare people in town were saying something. They say the eggs are found. They found eggs before on their property. There's a rare kind of ice Pokemon that lives in the cave. You get a lot of visitors hoping to see that Pokemon. The mart here doesn't sell anything new except for pretty much all of these expensive items. I do, however, want to stock up a little bit more on these. Don't worry, it'll make sense to you a lot later on down the road. We're not going to be dealing with a lot of battles and that actually require those, but just gotta look around here a little bit. I collected a ton of stickers. I wish I could show them off. Oh, excellent! You come to the right place. Look, see? These are my stickers. Look how many I got. I bet you want some. I bet you do. I'll give you a sticker if you can tell me something awesome about yourself. What will you brag about? The Hall of Fame. Oh, wow, you made it to the Hall of Fame. It's pretty good, yep. I'll give you one of these. This guy sucks. The thing that we got in the top left hand shows us we got a sticker from that, and that also shows us our Hall of Fame debut on the hours and time and that we actually played the game. This guy sucks! So, kind of breaking it down a little bit more how this works. The more times in that you do certain things like enter the Hall of Fame, hatch an egg, and do a link battle, the more sticker is of a level that you'll get. Is it really worth doing this? Ha! No. I don't recommend it to even hit into my greatest of enemies. Oh, Lorelei's house. And she's not here. If you're ever wondering if where Lorelei or Prima grew up from, well, here you go. Found a Stardust right here. Oh, what? Screw you. So I guess while we're here and doing a little bit of some fishing, we have 2 new Pokemon that can be found only through surfing. And each of them are found in exclusive games. Yeah, been a while since we've been talking about something like that. And I know for a fact that this is not gonna be one of them because, well, it's not surfing, it's fishing. First up, only found in FireRed. Whooper! If there's one thing that I can say about this Pokemon is yes. I say yes and for a good reason. It has one weakness, grass, and it is glorious. What makes this thing truly all the more awesome, aside from the fact that it has only one weakness, is that this is a prime example of a Pokemon that has a very balanced out stat, and its ability of water absorb is great. Essentially, giving it an immunity to not just water, but also to electric as well. Something that you gotta think about a little bit. If you ever want to have a great team to add to the post game, And if you want to try to start off with something new, you will find it here, unless if you went with Blastoise. You won't find any other water ground type Pokemons in the game at all from this. When evolves to the Quagsire at level 20, it once again has some very balanced out stats, and, well, let's face it, if you're looking here for anything good, I've said this already, Wooper's a great choice. One big thing I want to point out though, or actually kind of two things really. Its speed and special hit defense stat sucks. You're not going to get a lot of good use of it for with anything that has special offensive moves on it. And also, make absolutely sure the ability is not freaking damp. All it just does is prevent self-destructing explosions. Kinda stupid if you ask me. Next up, only in LeafGreen, Meryl. All I can say about this Pokemon is, don't use it. Yeah, simple as that. Okay, fine, I'll tell you more. It's a pure water type Pokemon, and that's basically a balanced out one, having some pretty good defense and special defense, and it has some pretty good amount of speed as it is. Why do I say that it sucks? Well, I didn't exactly say that it sucks, it's just strange. It has a signature ability of huge power. It doubles the attack stat to an other Pokemon that has it. And it's okay. The only real problem that I have with it is that so many of its great moves have not been introduced to us yet. So if you are looking for a good water type, you're not gonna find it here. Even evolving into a Zoomerol at level 18 is going to be kind of abysmal to deal with. I was saving it until now, but it is not a part fairy type yet. Gen 6 hasn't happened. It's not to say that it's okay, not bad as it is a water type. I just see this Pokemon to be very outclassed in more ways than it is. So all around, not bad. But I don't think that we're in the right location for it. They're very low level, and have fun in getting them all the way up to everyone else, and when you're already in the 50s, yay! And apparently I'm having a problem catching a frickin' Azumarill. This is embarrassing. And for that, you must die! The help our went down so fast that we were like, okay, I'll go. Sorry about that. I had a little bit of a glitch that happened, and I had to get rid of that. But everything seems to be working on Ghidorah now. So, as I was saying, let's go inside to a brand new dungeon. Welcome to Icefall Cave. Easily one of the most forgettable locations in pretty much all of Gen 3. But that's okay. Can't do anything with that. Might have to come back for that a little bit later. Oh, right, this puzzle. I forgot about this. I found an Ultra Ball, except for the one that I lost. Eeny, meeny, miny, bleh. Okay, so that was right. In for a penny? Yeah, I guess this'll work. I never melt ice. Boost the power of ice type moves. Speaking of ice types, in here. Hatsune Miku. What? I'm just gonna ignore that. In here, as I was saying, we have 3 new Pokemon that we can find in here, and all 3 of them suck. It'll make sense to you in just a moment. Let me get this real quick. Okay, full restore. So let's talk about those Pokemon real quick. And also get that while we're at it. Anyway. Swinub. If there's one thing that I can say about this in a Pokemon, is that it's kind of sad. I say that mostly because that I do love its type combination, and I think that it lives up to it rather nicely. The problem that I have with it is that, unfortunately, it's held back quite a bit. Solely because in that you only find them at such a low level. But if you truly are determined, there is a bit of a good use out of it. It becomes relatively quick. Well, sort of. But its attack stat is great. Especially since that it can learn such great ground type moves through TMs. But, okay, I can't say this anymore. Even when it evolves into Piloswine at level 33, it's hard to raise. Why? Because it has a weakness to all the starters. A lot of people don't talk about that, but I feel like that should be something that needs to be addressed. Now, I'm not bashing on Swinub so much, or even Swinub as it is. But the reason of why I say it like that is because I want this Pokemon to be good. The physical special split hasn't happened yet, and I feel like that it's one of the things that's held it back for so long, and of course, Mamoswine doesn't exist in this game, meaning that it doesn't know Ancient Power. But that's okay. The next one Pokemon isn't just as bad, if not worse. Found only in FireRed. Delibird! Oh, this empty Pokeball, it did not age well. We'll give it to a Paradox era for that. So, what's there to say about Delibird? Aside from the fact that this is considered to be one of the worst Gen 2 Pokemon of them all. Both of its abilities suck. If one prevents sleep, one prevents trades in accuracy for power. That's pretty much all you really need to know. But you want to know what it really is and what makes this Pokemon so bad? It has a signature move of Present. A 90 accuracy normal type move that doesn't either 3 separate hit damages, but healing your opponent in the process. 40% of the time, 40 base power. 30% of the time, 80 base power. 10%, it's 120 base power. And to add a lot of salt to the open wound, 20% of that heals in the opponent 1/4 of its maximum HP. Dude, just get this thing returned and you don't even think about giving it a present. I guess you could say having it returned and makes it the present to be its return sender! Ah! No base stat over 75 except for speed, and it's just so much of a glass cannon that you could probably just forget that it ever even exists. That episode in the anime may be an exception, but let's face it, you know what's the better option. And that Pokemon is all the way out in LeafGreen. Sneasel. This is a Pokemon that I love for an ironic reason. I love its typing of being a Dark Ice type. I think it's a very good choice to have for any Pokemon. It's a great physical sweeper. One big thing that I need to tell you guys right off the bat. Don't use any Dark or Ice type moves! The physical special split hasn't happened yet, and they're both considered special. And a base 35 special attack stat? What? You wanna know what's the big insult and that's gonna melt the ice on this thing? Its best move through level up is Metal Claw. Level 64! 64! Can you say, hey, Wet Willy to this thing? Or, excuse me, in this case, a Wet Willy. As much as I love this on Pokemon, It's held back by a few other aspects that I need to point out. First of all, the physical special split, as I said, hasn't happened yet, and Weavile doesn't exist until Diamond and Pearl and Platinum. It's held back by a lot, and even if you do manage to get it at some pretty good high levels, it's held back by the fact that you're investing TMs into this thing just to make it look good. Just give it one more generation, and you'll be seeing it at its purest. Okay, yeah, I think Parasite has had enough. She's heading to take care of some enemies so she can finally get that out of her mushroom. As gross as that sounds. I will admit, though, that this is a pretty good location to do some training. And if you ever want to find any good Pokemon out here, you'll find them. They're pretty high level. You won't get a good credit out of it, though. Let's see here. Got a seal. I guess you could put some seal calls this the seal of approval. Okay, let's... No, I'm not going down there. I'm going over here. Keep your filthy hands off the Pokemon in the cave. Do as I say, or you'll have me to answer to. Ah, shut it, lady, and leave us be. Don't let your glasses get all steamed up. D-Rock, what are you doing here? No, we can catch up later. Right now, I need your help. Help me kick these poachers out before they do anything else. They've been catching Pokemon here, then selling them off. Are you ready? You take that one, please. What? Who says we can't do what we want with the Pokemon we catch? The Indigo Friggin' Plateau! And let me tell you, buddy boy, you get Lorelei mad, you're gonna get an ice beam to the friggin' face. Or even worse, sheer cold. It's like being covered in dry ice. Would make sense. Grunt, you're a big disappointment in the history of disappointment. Or just like how that one guy is saying in that film. Disappointed! Fun fact, he actually didn't shout that as a bit of a typo that was in the script. He was meant to be disappointed, but he just shouted disappointed. Kind of a nice touch, really. We didn't plan on this! So you didn't plan with your mama. So despicably weak. You, tell me. Where have you been taking the captured Pokemon? By smashing your ring once and for all. No way! I'm not telling you that! If you won't confess, we'll defreeze you. My Lapras is furious for what you've done to its friends. Go on, Lapras, Ice Beam! What? Okay, I'll talk! The Pokemon at the Rocket Warehouse on 5 Island! There, I said it, we'll be going now! But I doubt you'll ever make it into the Rocket Warehouse. T-Rock, thank you, but this is awful. I was born and raised here on this island. I had no idea that those horrible criminals were loose here. Speaking of Lapras, in this very spot alone, 1% of the time, you would find Lapras here. And apparently that Slowpoke just be like, I'm sure this is a good show to watch. Can I have a show to cross it? Shit. She's gone! Did she just disappear? An escape rope? Okay. Now that I'm done being a complete nut. Well, you should be here? Yes, she is. There's something weighing heavily on my mind. If anything were to happen on the island where I was born, I wouldn't know about it if I were in the Pokemon League. I wonder if that would make me irresponsible to my home. Lorelai, you're a strong, independent woman. I'm pretty sure that if something bad were to happen to your home, you'd deep freeze and hit the shit out of those guys. Plus, you're awesome. Alright. Cool. Alright. So, now that we've finally gotten our next objective, we could head to the 5 Island now, but we're not gonna do that. Because we won't make much progress if we go there at this point. Don't worry, I ain't leaving you guys hanging on that place. I have a good reason for this. Hey D-Rod, how's your Pokédex filling up? Looks like it's impossible to get all the Pokemon by hanging around just these parts. Maybe there are Pokemon we don't know about somewhere far away. Well, if you can't do it, there's no way for you to get it done. I'm not going to get all desperate over this. I'll keep collecting Pokemon at my own pace while I train them. That's what I'll do, so there's no point staying here. I might as well leave for home. That's that then. Smell you later. Then go smell her your own shit. Something hidden on this island. Perhaps maybe we'll take a little look around for the time being. But yeah, we'll be going into the 5 Island at a later time. Don't worry, like I said, I ain't leaving you guys hanging. So anyway, thank you all so much for watching. We're gonna go ahead and end things off from right here. Next time, we explore 6 Island and see what all we can find out here. And hopefully we see if we can get some secrets and then need to be unraveled for us to progress onward. See you guys then.